This conference has three parts. One is the conference, other is the award, and third is expo. आज के कार्यक्रम के मुख्य अतिथि माननीय राज्य मंत्री इस्पात मंत्रालय भारत सरकार विष्णुदेव साय जी पहुंच चुके हैं। जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करें आज के कार्यक्रम के मुख्य अतिथि माननीय मंत्री जी का। माननीय मंत्री जी छत्तीसगढ़ राज्य से चुनकर आते हैं। रायगढ़ लोकसभा से 4 बार सांसद भी रह चुके हैं। बहुत बहुत स्वागत है मंत्री जी का, और हम हृदय से आभारी हैं मंत्री जी के कि अपने बहुमूल्य और कीमती समय में से कुछ समय निकालकर उन्होंने इलेट्स स्मार्ट सिटी को अपना कीमती समय दिया। हमारा इनॉग्रल सेशन है बिल्डिंग स्मार्ट सिटीज, चैलेंजेस एंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज। मैं स्टेज पर आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगा। आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट मिस्टर संजय जाजू, डायरेक्टर नेशनल हाईवेज एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन लिमिटेड, टू द डायस। प्लीज गिव हिम अ बिग राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज। Mr. Jaju. Now I would like to invite Mr. B.L. Jatawat, Executive Director, Rajasthan Urban Drinking Water, Sewerage and Infrastructure Corporation Limited. Huge round of applause. इसी कड़ी में मैं बुलाना चाहूँगा डॉक्टर आशीष कुमार गोयल, मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर उत्तर प्रदेश स्टेट रोड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉर्पोरेशन UPSRTC। जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करें। And one more participant in the inaugural session from industry to put the industry perspective about smart cities. I would like to call Mr. Akshay BD, Head Public Policy, Uber. Huge round of applause. मैं इलेट्स के असिस्टेंट एडिटर सौविक गोस्वामी से अनुरोध करूंगा कि स्टेज पर आए और माननीय मंत्री जी का बुके देकर स्वागत करें। माननीय मंत्री जी श्री विष्णुदेव साय, ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट फॉर स्टील, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया। मेरे सहयोगी फहीम उल हक से अनुरोध करूंगा, he should come on stage and welcome Mr. Sanjay Jaju with a bouquet, Director, National Highways and Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited. I request President of ILETS, Mr. Hemant Sethi, to come on stage and welcome Shri B.L. Jatawat, Executive Director, Rajasthan Urban Drinking Water, Sewerage and Infrastructure Corporation Limited. I request Karthik Sharma, Assistant Editor, ILETS Technomedia, to come on stage and welcome Dr. Ashish Kumar Goyal, Managing Director, UPSRTC. Requesting once again President of ILETS, Mr. Hemant Sethi, to come on stage and welcome Mr. Akshay BD, Head Public Policy, Uber. Thanks everyone. कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं माननीय मंत्री से निवेदन करूंगा कि दीप प्रज्वलन करके कार्यक्रम का औपचारिक उद्घाटन करें, कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ करें। माननीय मंत्री जी, साथ में डैश पर बैठे सभी अतिथिगण। बड़े ही गर्व की बात है कि हमारे बीच में भारत सरकार के इस्पात मंत्रालय के मंत्री श्री विष्णुदेव साय जी मौजूद हैं। उन्होंने अपने बहुत ही व्यस्ततम शेड्यूल के बावजूद हमको इस स्मार्ट सिटी समिट के लिए समय दिया, हम उनके आभारी हैं। कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए नाउ आई रिक्वेस्ट डायरेक्टर स्मार्ट सिटीज इलेट्स टेक्नोमीडिया सौविक गोस्वामी टू कम ऑन स्टेज एंड गिव वेलकम एड्रेस। मिस्टर गोस्वामी, give him a huge round of applause. Thank you.
Good morning, guests, Honorable Chief Guest, Union Minister of Steel, and other dignitaries. I, on behalf of ILETS Technomedia, welcome you all to the 10th edition of ILETS Smart City Conference. I can say only that the journey of ILETS Smart City continues. It's just the beginning. We have started a Smart City Conference way back in 2010, when no one has envisioned it. And since then, journey is on, and we are going to the various parts of India with Smart City conferences, along with other conferences. The aim is simple: creating knowledge-sharing platforms through magazines, portals, and global conferences, and to reach out to industry, to reach out to policymakers, that what is the way ahead for making a smarter nation. We will have 4 to 5 sessions throughout the day, which will discuss on various aspects of smart cities, smart transportation, views of municipal corporations, CEOs, SPVs, and the technical part, how tech solution can be provided for making smarter cities. With this note, I'll just request Arpit to continue with the inaugural section. Thanks a lot. Again, we welcome you all to ILETS 10 Smart City Conference.
थैंक्स सौविक। इससे पहले कि मैं माननीय मुख्य अतिथि को उनके उद्बोधन के लिए आमंत्रित करूं, मैं माननीय मंत्री जी को बताना चाहूँगा, इलेट्स टेक्नोमीडिया एक ऐसा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो केंद्र सरकार की अच्छी योजनाएं हैं, स्मार्ट सिटी, डिजिटल इंडिया और तमाम वो योजनाएं, उनमें टेक्नोलॉजी का क्या रोल है, आईसीटी का क्या रोल है, उसके प्रमोशन के लिए 4 मैगजीन हमारी हैं। ई गवर्नेंस हमारी फ्लैगशिप हमारी मैगजीन है। इसके अलावा ई हेल्थ, जो हेल्थ सेक्टर के लिए जो भी उसकी ज़रूरतें हैं, जो भी उसकी स्कीम्स हैं, योजनाएं हैं, उसके लिए है। बैंकिंग एंड फाइनेंस पोस्ट, जो बैंकिंग सेक्टर और फाइनेंस सेक्टर को कवर करती है। डिजिटल लर्निंग, जो कि एजुकेशन सेक्टर को कवर करती है। इसके साथ ही हम स्मार्ट सिटी और डिजिटल इंडिया स्पेस में भी पूरे भारत में नहीं, विश्व में मौजूद हैं। एंड वी हैव अ लेगेसी ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजिंग events like WES, World Education Summit, E-Asia, E-India. So this is a brief about ILETS Technomedia. ज़्यादा समय ना बर्बाद करते हुए मैं माननीय मंत्री जी से अनुरोध करूंगा, पूरे दिल के साथ, पूरे सम्मान के साथ उनका स्वागत करूंगा कि वो यहाँ पर आएँ और भारत सरकार का स्मार्ट सिटी मिशन के बारे में अभी क्या विज़न है और क्या अभी उसमें प्रोग्रेस हुई है, उसके बारे में अपने विचार रखें। माननीय मंत्री, जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करें माननीय राज्य मंत्री इस्पात मंत्रालय भारत सरकार विष्णुदेव साय जी।
आज इलेट्स टेक्नोमीडिया द्वारा आयोजित स्मार्ट सिटी समिट में मंच में विराजमान सभी अतिथिगण, देश के विभिन्न क्षेत्रों से पधारे स्मार्ट सिटी के सभी विशेषज्ञ, केंद्र सरकार एवं राज्य सरकार के उपस्थित सभी अधिकारीगण, उपस्थित देवियों, सज्जनों एवं मीडिया के मित्रों, आज मेरा परम सौभाग्य है कि स्मार्ट सिटी समिट में मैं आप सब लोगों के बीच उपस्थित हूं और इसके लिए इलेट्स टेक्नोमीडिया परिवार का आभारी भी हूं। और सर्वप्रथम यहाँ पधारे आप सबों का मैं हार्दिक दिल से अभिनंदन करता हूं। बड़े हर्ष की बात है कि आज स्मार्ट सिटी को लेकर विचार विमर्श के लिए, आपस में विचारों के आदान प्रदान के लिए पूरे देश से यहाँ पर आप सब लोग पधारे हैं और हमारे देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के सपनों को साकार करने का ये बेहतर प्रयास है। बंधुओं, मैं ये बताना चाहूँगा कि स्मार्ट सिटी का मतलब ऐसे शहरों से है जहाँ पर पानी और बिजली की अच्छी व्यवस्था होगी, साफ सफाई और कचरा प्रबंधन होगा, शहर में आने जाने के लिए परिवहन का बेहतरीन साधन यानी स्मार्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, तकनीकी कनेक्टिविटी, नागरिकों की सुरक्षा, ई गवर्नेंस, स्मार्ट हेल्थ और स्मार्ट ट्रांसपोर्ट समेत शासन में नागरिकों की भागीदारी जैसी सभी सुविधाएं स्मार्ट सिटी में मौजूद होंगी। ये हमारे देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री और भारत सरकार की स्मार्ट सिटी के संबंध में कल्पना है। वर्ष 2011 के सेंसस के अनुसार पूरे देश की आबादी की 31% आबादी शहरों में बसती है और आज लगातार रोजगार को लेकर गांव के लोगों का आना शहरों की तरफ हो रहा है और एक अनुमान है कि वर्ष 2030 तक देश की आबादी का 40% लोग शहरों में रहेंगे और इसके लिए उनकी व्यवस्था भी करनी होगी। भौतिक, संस्थागत, सामाजिक और आर्थिक बुनियादी ढांचे के व्यापक विकास की आवश्यकता भी होगी। जब वर्ष 2030 में 40% देश की आबादी शहरों में रहने लगेगा और स्मार्ट सिटी की परिकल्पना इसी दिशा में एक कदम है। कुल मिलाकर देश के 100 शहरों को स्मार्ट सिटी के तहत विकसित करना है। इसके तहत 100 सिटी तो विकसित होंगे ही, इसके लिए अलग से शासन के तरफ से फंड की व्यवस्था भी होगी। प्रारंभिक चरण में ज़्यादा राशि मिलेंगे, फिर प्रतिवर्ष कुछ कम राशि मिलेंगे। इस तरह से फंड की भी इसमें व्यवस्था है। लेकिन आदरणीय मोदी जी ने अमृत मिशन तथा स्वच्छ भारत जैसे योजना इस देश में लागू करके बाकी के शहरों को भी काया पलट करने का जिम्मेदारी लिया है। मैं छत्तीसगढ़ प्रदेश से आता हूं और हम लोगों का सौभाग्य है और हम इस अवसर पर हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री जी को धन्यवाद भी देना चाहेंगे कि मेरे प्रदेश का भी 2 शहर स्मार्ट सिटी के अंदर चयनित हुआ है। उसमें तो एक प्रदेश की राजधानी रायपुर है और एक वहाँ की न्यायधानी बिलासपुर है और एक केंद्रीय राज्य मंत्री के नाते चूँकि उस प्रदेश का हूँ तो मेरा भी पूरा प्रयास होगा कि हमारे दोनों शहर अग्रणी स्मार्ट शहरों में गिने जाएं और देश में एक वो मिसाल बने, ऐसा हमारा प्रयास होगा। और मैं स्टील मंत्रालय से आता हूं तो मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि शहरों के विकास में स्टील उद्योग का भी एक महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका होती है और मैं गौरव के साथ ये बताना चाहूँगा कि हमारे देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री के मार्गदर्शन में हम लोगों ने पिछले 2 वर्षों में हमारे देश को स्टील प्रोडक्शन के क्षेत्र में पूरे देश में चौथे से तीसरे नंबर पर लाके खड़ा किया है और आने वाले समय में उम्मीद है कि हम पूरे दुनिया में अपने देश को स्टील प्रोडक्शन के क्षेत्र में दूसरे नंबर पर लाके खड़ा करेंगे। क्योंकि मुझे यहाँ पर बहुत अनुभवी लोग, स्मार्ट सिटी के विशेषज्ञ लोग यहाँ पर आए हैं और दिन भर इस पर चर्चा होनी है और शाम को शायद जितेंद्र प्रसाद जी मंत्री यहाँ इस समिट का समापन करने वाले हैं, इसलिए मुझे ज़्यादा कहने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। और एक शीघ्र हमको एक मीटिंग में भी जाना है, लेकिन मैं बड़ा आभारी हूँ मतलब इलेट्स परिवार का कि उनका इतना स्नेह, उनका आग्रह था कि हम 5 मिनट के लिए सही 10 मिनट के लिए से यहाँ पर आएँ। मुझे वास्तव में बड़ी प्रसन्नता हो रही है और आप सब लोगों को शुभकामनाएं देते हुए कि आप लोग हमारे देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री जो पूरे दुनिया में भारत का और भारतवासियों का नाम ऊंचा किए हैं और देश के सर्वांगीण विकास के लिए उन्होंने अनेक योजनाएं लागू की हैं, जिसमें अपना स्मार्ट सिटी निर्माण भी एक योजना है और इसको साकार करने के लिए आप सब लोग यहाँ पर एकत्रित हुए हैं। मैं बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देते हुए और इस समिट हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी के स्मार्ट सिटी के सपने को पूरा करने में मील का पत्थर साबित होगा और इसके लिए हम सब लोगों को स्मार्ट बनेगा, तभी सबका साथ सबका विकास मोदी जी का जो नारा है उसको हम लोग पूरा करने में सफल होंगे। और अंत में एक बार आप सब लोग यहाँ पर पूरे देश से विभिन्न क्षेत्रों से विशेषज्ञ पधारे हैं, निश्चित रूप से अच्छा विचार विमर्श और एक अच्छा गाइडलाइन तैयार होगा। मैं इलेट्स परिवार का आज की इस अवसर में हमें बुलाए फिर से एक बार आभार व्यक्त करते हुए अपनी बात यहीं समाप्त करता हूं। आप सब लोगों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मंत्री जी। और जो आपने बातें यहाँ पर रखी हैं वो वाकई में देश के सर्वांगीण विकास के लिए बेहद ज़रूरी हैं और मैं इलेट्स परिवार की तरफ से आपके मंत्रालय की उन तमाम उपलब्धियों के लिए आपको साधुवाद देता हूं, आपको शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। आपका मंत्रालय इसी तरह दिन दूनी रात चौगुनी तरक्की करे। मैं कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए डैश पर बैठे सभी महानुभावों से अनुरोध करूंगा कि इस अवसर पर ई-गव मैगजीन का एक स्पेशल एडिशन रिलीज़ होना है, जिसमें उन तमाम विषय विशेषज्ञों के इंटरव्यूज़ हैं, वो स्टोरीज़ और फीचर्स हैं जो कि बताते हैं कि स्मार्ट सिटी का जो सपना है देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का, वो कैसे साकार हो, उसमें किस तरह की कठिनाइयां हैं, क्या अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं, क्या डिफ़िकल्टीज़ हैं। निवेदन करूंगा कि स्टेज पर ई-गव मैगजीन लेकर आएँ, जिसका यहाँ पर अनावरण माननीय मंत्री जी एवं स्टेज पर मौजूद तमाम अतिथियों के द्वारा होना है। Ilet's Technomedia has been publishing this eGov magazine since 2005, and it covers various aspects of ICT in all sectors: urban development, municipalities, health, among others. So this is one of the special editions of eGov magazine, which talks about vision of smart cities and challenges in implementing the vision of 100 smart cities mission launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. इसी कड़ी में मैं कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए आप सभी को यहाँ पर बताना चाहूँगा कि इलेट्स स्मार्ट सिटी कॉन्फ्रेंस के अलावा इलेट्स अवार्ड्स यहाँ पर आज दिए जा रहे हैं उन तमाम प्रोजेक्ट्स को जो कि स्मार्ट सिटी मिशन के लिए मील के पत्थर साबित होंगे और जो अलग अलग राज्यों के इनोवेशंस हैं। तो दिस इज 10th स्मार्ट सिटी समिट अवार्ड्स, and objective of this award to recognize the commendable work carried out by the various stakeholders involved in innovative ideas and practical solutions to realize Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of a digital India. Selection criteria में बहुत सारे हमारे पास जो nominations आते हैं उनमें हम चेक करते हैं scalability, replicability, innovation और एक जूरी इसको तय करती है कि हम अवार्ड किसको देंगे। पहली कैटेगरी है अवार्ड की स्मार्ट अर्बन ट्रांसपोर्ट इनिशिएटिव एंड अवार्ड गोज टू प्रकृति ग्रीन स्क्वाड एंड बायोबस गो ग्रीन थिंक ग्रीन कर्नाटका स्टेट ट्रांसपोर्ट कॉर्पोरेशन। आई रिक्वेस्ट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ KSTC टू रिसीव द अवार्ड फ्रॉम द dais and Honorable Minister of Steel, he will be giving away the award. Congratulations कर्नाटका स्टेट ट्रांसपोर्ट कॉर्पोरेशन। जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करें माननीय मंत्री जी। कर्नाटका स्टेट ट्रांसपोर्ट कॉर्पोरेशन को यह अवार्ड प्रकृति प्रोजेक्ट के लिए दिया जा रहा है। अगली कैटेगरी है स्मार्ट गवर्नेंस इनिशिएटिव एंड अवार्ड गोज टू ई कलेक्शन ऑफ रेवेन्यू टैक्सेस एंड फीस एंड अवार्ड गोज टू ट्रांसपोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट उत्तर प्रदेश। वी हैव ट्रांसपोर्ट कमिश्नर मिस्टर K. Ravindra Nayak from UP government. I request him to please come on the dais and receive the award from Honorable Minister. जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करें। कांग्रेचुलेशंस ट्रांसपोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट उत्तर प्रदेश। इसी कड़ी में अगला अवार्ड है स्मार्ट गवर्नेंस इनिशिएटिव which goes to Rajasthan Public Services Commission for their project on-screen marking system. I request representative from Rajasthan Public Service Commission, please come on the dais. Can we have awards and certificates ready for Rajasthan Public Service Commission? जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करें। अगला अवार्ड स्मार्ट गवर्नेंस इनिशिएटिव कैटेगरी में यूपी स्टेट रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट कॉर्पोरेशन फॉर इंटेलिजेंट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम ITMS, and we have Dr. Ashish Kumar Goyal, MD UPSRTC, to receive the award. He is a part of inaugural panel. He is in the dais. Can we have award and certificate? Congratulations UPSRTC. जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करें। Huge round of applause. अवार्ड के सिलसिले को आगे बढ़ाते हैं। स्मार्ट गवर्नमेंट सर्विस डिलीवरी कैटेगरी में अवार्ड विनर हैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रेलवेज फॉर देयर प्रोजेक्ट इंप्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ इंडियन रेलवेज कैडर मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम। कैन वी हैव रिप्रेजेंटेटिव फ्रॉम मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रेलवेज ऑन द डायस? Mr. Prem Narayan is here. Please give him a big round of applause. Congratulations, Ministry of Railways. Now, next category of awards is Best Smart City Initiative, and award goes to Rajasthan Urban Drinking Water Sewerage and Infrastructure Corporation Limited for their project Smart Cities Drive in Rajasthan. We have Shri B.L. Jatawat, Executive Director of Rutsikko, to receive the award. He is the man who drives the Smart City mission in Rajasthan. प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के स्मार्ट सिटी मिशन को इम्प्लीमेंट करने में राजस्थान में इनकी महती भूमिका है। Congratulations, Mr. Jatawat. And next category of award is Best Smart City Initiative, and award goes to Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai for their project Municipal Corporation Newgen's ECM solution to automate its end-to-end process. Congratulations, Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. Next category of award is Best E-Governance Initiative in a State, and award goes to Information Technology and Electronics Department, Government of Uttar Pradesh, for their project Integrated System for Grievance Redressal. We have COO Sheetron, Mr. Jagmohan, on behalf of IT Department, Government of Uttar Pradesh. Congratulations, IT and Electronics Department. Do we have SEMT consultant of UP government? Congratulations. Congratulations all winners, and I request all the winners to please come on the dais for a group photograph with Honorable Minister with their awards. सभी अवार्ड विनर से मेरा अनुरोध है एक बार स्टेज में ग्रुप फोटोग्राफ के लिए आमंत्रित हैं. Congratulations all the winners of ELETS awards. Thank you all winners. And we have a special ELETS Leadership Award 2016 for our Honorable Minister, Shri Vishnu Dev Sai. Can we have Hemant Sethi, President of ELETS Media, on the dais? And he will give award to a special leadership award to Honorable Minister of State for Steel, Government of India. जोरदार तालियों के साथ माननीय मंत्री जी का आभार प्रकट करें. माननीय मंत्री जी के कुशल नेतृत्व और उनके डिपार्टमेंट की तमाम उपलब्धियों के लिए ELETS परिवार की ओर से ये एक स्मॉल टोकन ऑफ रिगार्ड्स. ठीक. चूंकि माननीय मंत्री जी को एक बहुत ही आवश्यक मीटिंग में जाना है, तो हम एक बार फिर से उनका तहे दिल से शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं कि उन्होंने अपना बेहद कीमती समय इस समिट के लिए निकाला और हमारे इस समिट के लिए आपने शुभकामनाएं दी और प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी के विज़न को यहाँ पर आकर रखा. हम उम्मीद करेंगे कि आगे भी हमारे प्रयासों में आपका इसी तरह का सहयोग मिलता रहे. हमारे पूरे इस परिवार की ओर से और उन तमाम गेस्ट की ओर से जो कि अलग अलग राज्यों से यहाँ पर आए हैं, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. तहे दिल से हम आपका यहाँ पर आभार प्रकट करते हैं. कार्यक्रम को हम आगे बढ़ाएंगे. So now I invite Mr. Sanjay Jaju, Director, National Highways and Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited, to please come on the dais and put his views about smart cities. Mr. Jaju, please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you. Dignitaries on the dais and ladies and gentlemen. Of course, it's been almost 15 years when I was Municipal Commissioner in Vizag, and subsequently another 5 years I was Municipal Commissioner of Hyderabad. But my involvement with the use of technology actually started when I was Municipal Commissioner in Visakhapatnam. And when I look at the smart city concept that's getting evolved with this new government, I realized that the journey has come full circle. So I'm not going to be giving you a academic perspective. What I'll try and do is give you a practitioner's perspective. As I understand, there are certain municipal commissioners, there are some technology partners. So broadly, what is it that you look at when you talk of a city as a smart city? To my mind, it all starts from various aspects of urban governance to urban infrastructure to how citizens live their life in a particular city. And when you look at a smart city concept, to my mind, it has to go beyond technology. It cannot just remain as a technology concept. You can't say that we have wired houses, or now these days unwired houses with smart buttons, smart technology, and our refrigerator gets on and off at our will from our mobile phone, or our sewage system is getting run through some smart meters and smart devices. Effectively, what will be required is for the cities to have good infrastructure. Otherwise, for example, you may have a very smartly connected town, but if that town does not have good infrastructure, good drainage system, one rain will wipe out what gains you look at when you look at a smart city. So broadly speaking, when I divide this entire schema, to my mind, smart infrastructure would have to occupy the top list. And what is it that you talk of when you talk of a smart infrastructure? I could see a lot of people getting awards in urban transport. So obviously, infrastructure, urban transportation is one of the important aspects of any good city. Be it smart or be it unsmart, effectively you require good infrastructure. You need to have good road network. You need to have good sustainable road network, because effectively if you don't have sustainable network, the city might look good today, but 10 years down the line, that entire area might again get congested. Or you may not have, for example, smart stormwater drains, which effectively would make those roads become traffic unworthy in very little time. So what you need to have is smart, sustainable transport infrastructure. That should, to my mind, be a very important aspect when you look at smart infrastructure. Obviously, when you look at smart infrastructure, you need to look at drinking water. You need to look at, when you look at drinking water, then you need to combine sewerage networks into it. And then you need to have the stormwater drainage network into it. When you look at the other aspects of infrastructure, you need to have sustainable, eco-friendly infrastructure. So you need to look at a lot of green spaces within your own towns. And when you look at green spaces, then you need to look at this whole aspect of urban planning, which is very important in terms of allocation of spaces for various user needs within a particular town. So how can technology play a role? Assuming that this infrastructure is already laid out, which is what is the case in many of the Western cities, and that's why they're looking at going one step up as to how do we manage this infrastructure in a much more smarter manner. Basically, when they look at that, they're kind of trying to look at how do we automate the management of the infrastructure by using smarter devices. I think that's where this whole concept of smart comes in. To my mind, it's looking at trying to connect various devices on internet, as they call them, as IoT devices, Internet on Things. And the whole idea is that you will not have too many people, or you will not be able to spare so many people for managing your infrastructure. So that's why you need to have automated devices which run your infrastructure. So here you look at devices which run your traffic system. And when you have devices which run your traffic system, then you look at intelligent transportation systems, which allow you to take your vehicle at a pre-designed speed or a rate. So effectively, this whole aspect of having smart infrastructure boils down to A, putting in place infrastructure, and then secondly, putting into place digital infrastructure, which can take care and manage the infrastructure that has been laid out. Of course, when we were commissioners at that time also, one aspect that was being given highest priority and which was not there at that time, if you look at it, was the smart governance part. I recall I launched an initiative called as Socarium in the year 2000 in Vizag Municipal Corporation. And somebody actually later on told me that actually it was the first time somebody had put municipal corporations online, and where we were giving various services like payment of property taxes, something that looks very trivial these days. Payment of property taxes, getting your births and death certificates online, getting to pay your trade license fees, getting your trade licenses online, getting various certificates online. This is what was started in the year 2000, and to my mind, now that looks trivial, but the fact remains that smart governance would always be at the heart of any smart city program. Even if you have the best infrastructure, if the urban management, primarily by the local municipal corporations or the urban development bodies, is not smartly managed, there's a good chance that whatever has been created in terms of infrastructure can simply get reduced in terms of its effectiveness if we don't have the management done in a smart manner. So when I look at smart governance, I look at entire range of things emanating from managing your own civic corporations in a smarter manner, having transparent systems, having accountable systems, having systems which have lesser chance for nepotism and lesser chance for corruption. So to an extent, easier access to various services, both regulatory as well as civic services being delivered online, to my mind will form the second prong in terms of smart city infrastructure. So once you have the smart infrastructure and once you have the smart management, then comes obviously the other aspects where a city is defined as a smart if that city has smart people, smart citizens. And when I look at smart citizens, what do you mean? What do you look at? You look at people possibly who, number one, who have got economic drivers in place. For example, you may have the best city, but if the city does not have the economic drivers, you will not find many people who live in that city. The cities would not thrive just because you have laid out good infrastructure. Cities would thrive if people find that there is merit in living in those cities. People find that there are economic opportunities. So people who have economic opportunities in a city, and then you look at how to connect these people so that the multiplier effect of connecting people is enhanced and those economic opportunities are enhanced. Why is it that a small area in Manhattan, New York generates more revenues than a similar area, say, in a particular town in India? Primarily because Manhattan has economic opportunities and people are connected, their opportunities are connected. So to an extent, that would be one of the important aspects of any smart city infrastructure. So you need to have innovation thriving in your smart cities. You need to have knowledge economies thriving in your smart cities. And I think that's where the cities would get that traction to go to that another level. Fourth thing, again, effectively comes to my mind is the smart home. Now, assuming that you have smart infrastructure, you have smart management, and then you have smart citizens, and then comes down to your homes. And I understand now a lot of things are, a lot of devices are coming out. They say that there are going to be more people, more things connected on the net than the human beings. And maybe possibly right now also they might be having more connected devices than more connected people. So effectively you will find that over a period of time, as one of the ads which comes out of the Google box, they tell us that an individual starts from his office, he pings on his phone and he gets, and his car comes out of an automated parking lot. He goes on to that particular car, and that's a self-driven car. It's being run through microprocessors. So again, what you call as a smart car goes into his house. The moment his car crosses a particular area, the door opens on its own. He gets inside. Cold water, cold coffee or hot tea is waiting for him because it's been made from a smart oven or a smart refrigerator. And I mean, whole range of things. It tells you when to wake up, when not to wake up. So all this looks in the realm of future, but believe me, this is how civilizational growth is, and this is how civilizations will grow. So effectively, you look at this entire gamut of activities which bring together this entire concept of smart city. But to my mind, in the Indian context, I still think the first would be primarily the important focus, because that's where we're still far behind. And even when I look at the cities today and compare them with 2005 when I was commissioner in Hyderabad, I still can say that on the infrastructure front, we are still not good enough to go on to that next level where we put a technology layer on top of the infrastructure, because we right now don't have that basic infrastructure which is the important need and which is the important aspect. But good, it's a renewed focus has now come in terms of making use of technology for running the urban affairs, and with this new concept of a smart city and a kind of competitiveness which has come in. You have, even in this forum itself, you have many cities who have won awards. That means they're trying to compete. It's a healthy competition which has set in. Even the selection of cities have also been done through a kind of a healthy competition. I think all these augurs well, and if we can channelize all these efforts and energies, I'm sure the vision of this government to create smart cities within our country would definitely be possible to be achieved. Last but not the least, I always believe in one principle that you look at the history of any civilization, there are 3 T's which actually drive any civilization. And to my mind, the first 2 T's are not out of context here, but trade, technology, and towns. These are the 3 T's which drive civilizational growth. You look at any civilization which has prospered in the past or which is going to prosper in the future, they would all be relying on these 3 aspects. And if we ignore these 3, possibly we are not going to create a smart city as we understand and as we are made to understand. My thanks to the organizers for inviting me here. My apologies to the organizers that I have another meeting at 11 and I have to rush, but I'm sure the conference would be successful in generating some brainwave, and you will be able to storm your ideas. And believe me, as a municipal commissioner, the best way to learn is from your fellow commissioner. So I think this forum will allow you those opportunities, and I'm sure you will all go back with some thoughts and some ideas which you can put into practice the moment you go back to your respective towns. Again, thanks to the organizers, and apologies for trying to leave early. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jaju. You rightly said channelizing efforts and energy in a right direction is very much necessary today. So since you have to leave early, I request Akshay BD, Head Public Policy Uber, to present a speaker memento to you. Mr. Sanjay Jaju, Director, National Highways and Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited. Can we have a speaker memento on the dais? Please give him a big round of applause. Thank you. Now I invite Dr. Ashish Kumar Goyal, Managing Director, Uttar Pradesh State Road Transport Corporation, UPSRTC, to please come here and talk about his vision and his initiatives taken in Uttar Pradesh. Dr. Goyal, give him a big round of applause.
Good morning, friends. I congratulate Elliott's magazine for this very timely organization of Smart City Summit. Transportation is an integral part of our lives today. After Bijli Sadak Pani, you need the transport, because Sadak is utilized by transport. UPSRTC has a fleet of more than 10,000 buses, and we would be increasing it to more than 11,000 before the year ends, and to almost 15,000 in another 3 years. I can very proudly say that during the last 5 years, the chief executives of UPSRTC, they have been focused on modernizing the operations of UPSRTC. Intelligent Transport Management System was conceived in 2011, and now we are probably the only organization with such a large fleet of buses, more than 10,000 buses, which are fully incorporated into our ITMS. The components of our ITMS are, one is the vehicle tracking system. Each vehicle is fitted with GPS, and we can track each vehicle online, which helps us in route planning, management decisions. We have electronic ticketing machines in all our buses. So all our tickets are being issued on electronic ticket machines, which has a SIM card, so we know we have the real-time information of what ticket has been issued at what time, in which bus, by which conductor. Then we have passenger information system, where one can track at what time a particular bus is going to come at a particular bus station. Then we have a helpline, we have online ticketing, and we have counter ticketing connected to our central server. So these are the components of our intelligent transport management system, which we proudly say we have implemented, and we are in a position to go to the next level. We have introduced smart cards so that people don't have to carry tickets or cash. They can pay by smart cards. Our ETMs have card reader capabilities. The thing which is being implemented right now is automatic fuel management system. We are on our diesel dispensing units. They are becoming automated with RFID tags, where the data of fuel being given to a bus or a driver is being automatically captured into our data. And when integrated with our ITMS, this will give us a real-time fuel efficiency, driver-wise, bus-wise, route-wise, which can help us in better planning. To prevent pilferage, to increase efficiency, we are thinking about installing fuel sensors in the diesel tanks of each bus, so that from commercial operations to technical operations, everything is on one platform, and we can track all these parameters online in real time. So as far as IT initiatives are concerned, UPSRTC has gone whole hog to the heart of our operations, rather than using the IT in peripheral operations. So I invite different IT companies or experts to develop analytical solutions for us, because we have a large data which is being generated every day. 10,000 buses plying, more than 35 lakh kilometers every day. There is a huge data which gets generated, and there is a huge scope of improving our operations based on the analysis of this data. So we invite IT companies, transport planners, experts, academicians to study our data and come up with suggestions, consultancy, or other solutions so that we can improve our business. I once again thank ELETS magazine for organizing this wonderful workshop here, and due to paucity of time, I have another meeting in Lucknow today. I will have to leave immediately. So I believe that this conference will be a great success, and will be able to discuss the steps forward in implementing the vision of smart cities and e-governance. I must tell you, today Uttar Pradesh government departments have got so many awards. contrary to the popular opinion that nothing moves, UP is moving very fast. You can see how our transport department is moving, how public grievance redressal is moving, how our tax collection, even in the commercial taxes department, it is becoming computerized. So most of the departments of UP government are becoming computerized and embracing e-governance initiatives. Since UP is the largest state, so implementing these initiatives will naturally take time, but the government has started moving, and you will see the result of all these initiatives suddenly in a few months to come, when suddenly you will see whole of the government will be enabled, e-enabled, and we have several e-governance initiatives which are undergoing implementation. There will be a results in very near future. So I wish all the best to ELETS magazine and all the participants here, and UPSRTC, our doors are open for partners to align with us and to give us consultancy and to give us services and further the e-governance initiatives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Goyal. As it is said, Uttar Pradesh is the land of unlimited potential. I also agree with the what you said, that there is a lot of scope and opportunities for technology players, solution providers, and it is because of your endeavor and the efforts of Transport Commissioner, who was earlier MD UPSRTC. He is sitting here, Mr. Nayak. Since due to paucity of time you have to leave early, I request Shri B.L. Jatawat to present a speaker memento to you, Dr. Ashish Kumar Goyal, Managing Director, Uttar Pradesh State Road Transport Corporation. Can we have a speaker memento on the dais? Please give him a big round of applause. जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करें डॉक्टर आशीष कुमार गोयल का, जिनको आज यहाँ पर इलेट्स अवार्ड से भी सम्मानित किया गया है उनके एक प्रयास ITMS के लिए, UPSRTC के। उत्तर प्रदेश देश का पहला ऐसा राज्य है जिसने इतने बड़े पेरीफेरी में ITMS जैसी सेवा शुरू की है, और उसके लिए UPSRTC की टीम और ट्रांसपोर्ट कमिश्नर और इससे पहले भी जो अधिकारी इस विभाग में रहे हैं वो सभी बधाई के पात्र हैं। थैंक यू सर। थैंक यू। Now I invite Shri B.L. Jatawat, Executive Director, Rajasthan Urban Drinking Water Sewerage and Infrastructure Corporation Limited, to please come on the dais and put your views about smart cities development in Rajasthan. And he's the man who is actually driving the mission Smart City in Rajasthan. Please give him a big round of applause.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will share with you the smart cities experience in Rajasthan. Rajasthan has a population of about 68.62, 6.82 crores. And we have urban population 24.89%. 24.89% total urban population in Rajasthan. Number of towns we are having 188. Now it has come to 190. At present we are having 190 municipal bodies in Rajasthan. Jaipur, Udaipur, Kota and Ajmer. 4 cities were nominated in the first round of the selection in the by the Government of India. Out of 100, only Jaipur and Udaipur, they made a place in the first round of selection of the cities. Ajmer, Udaipur was at 3rd place and Udaipur was at 16th place. Jaipur ranked 3rd and Udaipur 16th. At present, we have formed SPVs and companies in both the cities selected as smart cities. We have also selected the PMC in Jaipur as well as in Udaipur. And Messrs. Aptisa Services SL has been appointed as PMC. Smart city proposals for Kota and Ajmer, we have already submitted by 30th June to the ministry, and we hope that these both cities will also be nominated or selected by the Government of India in the next round. The vision for the Jaipur Smart City is it aspires to leverage its heritage. As you all must be aware that Jaipur has a heritage value. So our theme is heritage and tourism. And through innovative and inclusive solutions, enhance the quality of life for its citizens. As our minister and the director of highways also pointed out that smart cities has no meaning without smart citizens. And smart citizens means this, as our Honorable Prime Minister once told that समझदार लोग, बिना समझदार लोग के हम लोग स्मार्ट सिटी नहीं बना सकते. Without people's participation, nothing can happen. These are the proposals with Jaipur city. We have two types of approach, area-based development and the pan city approach. And for Udaipur also we have a vision statement, and that is Eternal Udaipur, world's favorite lakeside heritage city. As you all must be aware that Udaipur is a city of lakes. So our main focus is to conserve the heritage as well as the lakes of the Udaipur city. We have total project proposals for Udaipur is 1221 crores, out of which ABD projects are for 880 crores and Pan City proposals are for 341 crores. And this is the vision statement for Kota, for which we have submitted our proposals recently. Develop brand Kota as vibrant coaching hub. So what you will find that in every city we have given some specific vision to develop as a smart city. Develop brand Kota as vibrant coaching hub of India with high quality of life through inclusive social and economic development enabled by smart infrastructure and good governance in sustainable manner. These are the proposals which we have put for Kota. This is our vision statement for Ajmer. Ajmer has Khwaja Muhyiddin Chishti Sahib's Dargah, as well as we have a Brahma Mandir in Pushkar. So our vision statement for the Ajmer is to develop as a global religious and heritage tourism destination with high quality living and sustainable smart cities and services. These are the proposals which we have made for Ajmer Smart City. I would like to share with you that we have already launched some projects. For example, in Udaipur, we have sanctioned sewage works in Wall City area of 5.75 crores. We have inaugurated an open gym in Gulab Bagh Udyan in Udaipur. So these are some projects which we have already. And for Jaipur, we are installing solar rooftop power plants for rupees 81 lakhs. Restoration of Bawdis. Jaipur has Bawdi, a local, और जो हमारा पुराना पानी का जो स्रोत था उसको हमारे राजस्थान में बावड़ी बोलते हैं. So we have taken up the restoration of Bawdis. These are some new initiatives by us in the Rajasthan. Non-motor transport is our priority. Public bike sharing, universal access, smart signages, intelligent parking, smart auto taxi stand, eco-friendly vehicles. Now, if you will go in Jaipur, you will find so many, battery-operated vehicles. CCTV surveillance with effective auditing of the cameras. There is door-to-door collection and disposal of garbage and waste to energy. Jaipur by night. Now, Tourism Corporation of Rajasthan has started a bus, and that is called Jaipur by night. You can have a look of Jaipur city in the night. We have so many free Wi-Fi hotspots in Jaipur. If you will go at Rambagh, Chowraha, you will find that so many young students are sitting there. So, because of the free Wi-Fi hotspots. One more important thing is that we have formed Mohalla Nigrani Samitis for collection and reporting of the garbage. Single window system for approvals of building plans and fire NOCs. This innovation is even appreciated by Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India. And it has been given 4-star, gold star rank has been given to the Rajasthan because of this initiative. We have installed 3 lakhs of LED lights in Rajasthan. Our target is to put 20 lakhs of lights. I'm thankful to the invitees for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much, elites.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Akshay BD from Uber to put industry perspective about building smart cities, since you represent transport sector. So how transport is relevant to smart cities, and what is your role, and how can you contribute to the mission of, to the vision of smart cities and the dream of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Please give him a big round of applause, Akshay BD from Uber.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to speak before the audience today and the esteemed panel. At Uber, we're very passionate about building cities and celebrating the value that each city has. We're a business that is providing on-demand transportation through a mobile application in over 400 cities around the world in 75 countries. And we're in 28 cities in India. And as we think about how we started our business here with few cars on the road in Bangalore, we were a mobile app service at the time providing high-end transportation. It wasn't in the roadmap to become so ubiquitous that we become a part of the furniture of the city's urban mobility landscape. So we're very proud to be here and address this August gathering. Thank you for the opportunity. As we think about urbanization in India, over 70% of the population will live in cities by 2050. And to quote Mr. Amitabh Kant, as he talked about urbanization, cities until now were built on the backbone of water, land, gas, etc. But the new cities, the smart cities that we're going to build of the future will be built on the backbone of public transit. And we believe as a technology company facilitating mobility in cities around the world and in India, where we can play a pivotal role in digitizing some of the transportation networks within the city, because it's highly inefficient for a car to have just one person in it as we think about travel, because the car ownership has and traditionally, apart from public transit, people have only gotten around in their private cars, and car ownership has skyrocketed in the last 2 decades or so. We added 7 million cars between 1951 and 2000, but we added 8 million cars between 2001 and 2011. In 1/5 of the time, in just 1 decade, we added as many cars, if not more, than we did in 50 years. And so, and that's why the associated problems that we see in our cities, which is that of traffic congestion, traffic moving as slow as 15 kilometers per hour. If you were part of the rains yesterday and you were stuck on the road, there was a traffic jam of about 6 to 8 hours if you were coming back from Gurgaon. And this is because of the inefficiencies of the way that cars operate in our cities today. It's because 70% of our cars have only one person in them. There are about 200,000 cars that go between Delhi and Gurgaon on NH8 every day, and if 70% of them are carrying only one person, can we put more people in those cars? Until now, carpooling was a concept that you did, with your friends, your colleagues who are going to work. But today, because of technology, we're able to match 2 people who are going to the same place at the same time, who may not know each other, but because of technology, we're able to digitally match these 2 people. And instead of taking 2 cars in an analog world, they're today able to take 1 car. And that's going to take cars off the road, reduce pollution and congestion. And to bring this, and therefore, like, Uber is more than just providing, as a lot of people describe, as a cab service, because what we do is we go far beyond that. We're providing urban mobility. And what that means is, when electricity was first invented, people had to own electric grids in their house, maintain them. Today, electricity is a service that has become in the background because it's a service that is being provided centrally. And you don't have to own electric grids in your house anymore. And similarly, as we look at the future of urban mobility, it is our hope and aspiration that if cities have to grow sustainably, that people don't own cars anymore. Transportation is simply a service that is available to you at the push of a button on a smartphone. And people don't even think about it consciously, because they don't have to drive in cars and be stuck in traffic jams for over 1 hour every day. 60,000 crores every year is lost due to traffic congestion, because people are sitting in traffic jams and there's a loss of productivity. And we can solve for this loss of productivity by taking cars off the road and putting more people in fewer cars. And we invite collaborations with all the governmental stakeholders here, where where we have a product and a technology solution that we can bring to cities in India, where we can put more people in fewer cars, digitally match people headed in the same direction. If governments embrace technology, and we've been extremely fortunate in India, despite a short period here, we've been here only 3 years, that governments have been very welcoming of this kind of technology. And we think that if the cities of the future are to be built, then they have to be built on the backbone of sharing and not on consumption. And if we can share, and if we can make every car on the road a shareable asset, if anybody who has a car and a mobile phone can just turn on their mobile phone and they say, I'm going to the office today, and they just enter a destination, and within 5 minutes they're matched with somebody who's headed in the same direction. And if our regulatory frameworks can allow for it, and if governments can embrace this kind of technology, if we can socialize this kind of sharing of cars amongst citizens, because cars are traditionally a source of a great pride for people to own them. Can we socialize the idea of sharing something that people find very dear to them? And if we can do all of these things, then we can build truly efficient transportation of the future at no cost for the government, because it is very expensive to, and while we have seen several experts suggest that we have to beef up our public transportation ecosystem, which we should and must, but it's expensive and it's long term. Today, just by the turn of a regulatory switch, we can turn all the cars in our cities into a shareable asset. if governments, private sector, and all the stakeholders come forward and embrace this kind of technology. So we are very excited to be here, and we're very excited to provide this and build this technology solution, and hopefully over the course of the next 5 to 10 years, this will demonstrate value at scale. And guess what? While we do that, we're creating livelihood and economic opportunities and entrepreneurs, because these drivers formerly worked 12-hour shifts, earned about 15,000 rupees fixed salary a month without a lot of the benefits, and today they own their own cars. The drivers, there are over 3.5 lakh drivers in India. Well, we are investing heavily in skilling because the demand is off the charts and we need more supply of drivers. And so we can create more jobs and livelihoods in the cities that we are in, and we can take cars off the road. And to realize this vision, we invite the stakeholders here to collaborate with us, as we are very keen to launch these services, and it takes us anywhere between 1 and 4 weeks to really launch a city and a service in a market. So this is realizing a longer term vision with very little effort or investment, and we invite stakeholders to collaborate with us. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I'm very humbled to be here. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Akshay, and ELETS wishes you all the best so that all the stakeholders embraces your technology you are talking about here. And thank you for giving insight of your plans and your vision. Now, I request Shri B.L. Jatawat to present a speaker memento to Akshay BD from Uber. Can we have a speaker memento on the dais? Give him a huge round of applause. And I request Shri K. Ravindra Nayak, Transport Commissioner, to come on the dais and present a speaker memento to Shri B.L. Jatawat. Please give him a big round of applause. Can we have a speaker memento on the dais? Mr. Jatawat presented his vision for smart cities in Rajasthan. Can we have a group photo? Sir, please stay for 1 minute for group photo. Mementos in your hand, respective speakers. जोरदार तालियों से स्वागत करें. Thank you.